What's good, guys? I'm excited to be back here with you today. I want to dive into a topic that kind of sits with me quite closely, and that is overtrading due to lower time frame analysis paralysis, if you want to call it that. Trying to chase crazy, unrealistic returns that just aren't really feasible in the market. And the reason I'm saying this today is because I also myself went through this exact same problem a couple of years ago. I found myself really failing to kind of execute on a daily basis, really struggling to even have some sort of trading plan in place because I was so caught up on people trading the 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute time frame. Thinking that these are the guys that are making some crazy returns that just it's not feasible. Mentally, it's gonna literally screw your mind up. I was on the verge of quitting. It was that bad because it was just too much. And I want to kind of go over this again because I think it's a key point that a member that one of my members actually brought up this week in our academy review. And he said here, he started to trade off, found all these things, everything was going great, succeeded passing his first funded account, got a couple payouts, etc. But then, and I think this is where a lot of people get trapped. Then the thing happened, which happens to a lot of traders. I switched from strategy. I saw one that was really fancy, had a lot of illustrations, really cool names on the charts, trading on low time frames, very complicated, and this caught me in a negative way. Bang. That is exactly what happened to me as well. Lost all my accounts, every challenge I bought afterwards, bang. Same problem. So if this is something that you feel also resonates with you, like know that you're not the only one because everyone kind of goes through this at some point of their trading journey. And you can see here, and I think this is quite a really interesting point. And he basically says here, I went through all the stuff in the alchemy. I implemented my trading plan, risk management. The strategy is very mechanical, easy to use, understand, backtest, and consistent. That is what we trade inside the alchemy. A lot of people think that what I trade is not mechanical, but here we go. Here's someone again reiterating that it is very mechanical, very easy to use. And here you go again, where he says, if you're struggling with emotions, consistency, payouts, psychology, risk, whatever it may be, it can all be fixed here. And I want to leave that with you because I truly believe in what we are doing at the Alchemy, and I truly believe that the mechanical edge that we teach will actually help you. So if this is something that you are interested in, you can check the link in my bio. I'm going to drop it there after this session. This is going to be the last month that we are taking people in for the mentorship before we close off into the new year. So if this is something you're interested in, please go feel free to check it out. It's going to be in my description below. And we're only looking for serious traders, to be entirely honest with you, that are ready to make the next step and change their trading career. So let's hop over into something which I believe is the problem, right? It's something as simple as this. It's executing on the lower time frame, not understanding why you're executing on the lower time frame, for starters, thinking you are trading the correct sort of liquidity points, which in my opinion you're not, and then getting caught up and really confused as to why you even, were in the trade in the first place, why the trade went against you, or maybe you win one or two trades on the day and you lost three or four and you're just coming out break even. What was the point of you even trading? Do you know what I mean? That's kind of what I want to go through. Now, if you have a look here, I think a lot of people get stuck into the whole hype of trading Asia range because they think Asia range is super effective on the lower time frame for starters, which in my opinion I think is very, very incorrect. And when you're trying to scalp on the lower time frame, say on the 1 or the 2 minute, when looking at something just as simple as the Asia range, high or low get taken, I'm going to show you how you can really damage one, your personal accounts, your funded accounts, your mental trading capacity, which I think is the most key ingredient to your success, and really not finding any consistency. So let's say in this example, right, you're looking to take this Asia low trade over here. Okay. Let's say, for example, you wait for price to open into London. So you say to yourself, I'm not going to enter into any trades. I'm going to wait patiently for London open, right? Now, London open comes. Cool. We've got a nice sweep of some sell side liquidity over here. We've now had, Asia low taken here, the sell side liquidity taken here. We're probably in some lower time frame, fair value gap or displacement, whatever fancy word you want to call it. And now all of a sudden you're looking for the next sort of upside structure shifts. Okay, this used to happen to me all the time. So I see this on the 2 minute or the 1 minute time frame, for example, and I say, oh, okay, cool. Well, we swept this low over here. And if you have a look over here, we swept this low over here. So this obviously has to be my next market shift break, right? It has to be. And price, is definitely not going to move. It's not going to continue any lower past this low over here. So cool, I'll just put my stop loss just above here. I'll try target some crazy R back to this buy side liquidity area over here. Okay, and let's say for this example, you trading 1% on the day because you think that is a fair allocation of this risk, and that's something you can stomach. Cool. Asia, we take Asia low, we take this sell side liquidity point over here, right? And now we are setting up coming into London open. Cool. I'm in this trade. Now I'm sitting in this trade. I've allocated 1%. So let's say you're trading a 100K account with FTMO. You are basically risking $1,000. You have a max drawdown on the day of 5%, and your overall drawdown is 10. And now you're still sitting in the trade, and bang, you're out. And now you say to yourself, wait, how did that happen? This is valid. I looked at all the different checklists I have. I've seen this example happen so many times. This is it. So you said, okay, no, fine, it's cool. I'm just gonna mark this out as a loss. I've lost 1,000. I've lost $1,000 here. Okay, let's call it 1R. So now you say to yourself, oh wait, I think we're setting up again. So now you see that there's a sweep of this low over here. Bang. There's this internal high over here. And you think to yourself, no ways. If I get in now, okay, stop below the low, and I have my my take profit up here, I'll make back the first loss, and I'll be up 2R on the day. Bang, done. No issues. So you're waiting. Eventually price doesn't actually tag you in. So now you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to change this entry model now because now this entry model is no longer valid. So you say, cool, fine. But now you start to see it setting up again. So you say, okay, cool, here's my low, here's my high. And now all of a sudden I'm going to place another buy stop limit or whatever you want to do over here. I get tagged into this entry, and now I am trading back to the highs for 3-1. Okay, which is still not really like crazy RR or unrealistic in my opinion. But if I'm brutally honest with you, you're probably not even looking at this high. You're probably looking at some other crazy high that's sitting up here, right? And you trying to trade this thing back into the moon for 10R. But let's say you were being conservative and you were targeting this high of 3 here. Okay. Now you've taken your second shot on the day. Remember, you can only lose 5% on the day. And you're in this trade. It's looking good. Things are looking good. You think to yourself, oh, wow, this is the trade. I'm going to make it back. Everything's going really well. It's looking super good. And then all of a sudden, it's not looking good. And now you think to yourself, okay, wait, what is going on here? Because I was really up at one point, and now price is just moving around, and then bang, I'm out. So if you have a look here, you were almost, up 1 hour, so you thought to yourself, okay, well, if I close here, I'm probably going to be break even on the day. But now you're out. So I'm now 2 hour down on the day. So you think to yourself, okay, if I find one more trade setup coming my way, I think it's going to be the one. So now you're watching. Now price comes into New York session, right? We take this low again. You think to yourself, okay, cool. I'm following my plan. I'm following the execution model I've been taught. Things are looking good. This should be fine. This should be the one. Okay, so price doesn't take you in here, right? So no valid entry here. So you say, okay, cool. That's fine. That's fine. Now you see price setting up again. So let's say, for example, this is my internal break here. This is my sweep of the low again. And you have your buy stop or whatever you want to market entry or whatever. And you say, okay, cool. I don't want to just trade this 3-1 anymore because remember my initial targets were up here. So do you see? You start kind of objecting to yourself why you should be in this trade and why this trade will work out in the end because, I'm just following my plan, minding my own business, it should work. And then bang, you're out again. And you say to yourself, no ways, this is impossible. How can I have lost this trade 3 times? So now you say to yourself, okay, well, what am I going to do now? Because the trading day is technically nearly done, but I'm down 3R, right? I've got still 2 more bullets in the bag. I can risk max 5% on the day. What if I took another one? So you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to watch another setup now. Now, maybe you had a rule to say you're going to stop trading at end of London session close. But now you're down 3R, right? So you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, maybe, just maybe, price will start to swing in my favor. So you say to yourself, okay, cool, well, here's another setup now, and here is a valid sweep, in this my opinion, and you have your risk reward sitting like this, and now you say to yourself, okay, cool, well, I can definitely make this all back and more, and every single time you're getting chopped up, you just keep extending your take profit, and you continuing to basically chase a trade that isn't even here. And then you think to yourself, wait, is it possible that I might have to sit up all night for this trade and eventually see what's going to happen, or am I going to just let it do its thing? Now price goes into Asia, dead vol, bang, you're out again. And now, in my opinion, let's say you're living, in a reasonable time zone where you can basically trade New York and London. In the matter of not even 8 hours, you have literally got chopped up 4 times, lost $4,000 or 4% on your account, continued to chase unrealistic returns every single time you kept getting chopped up on the way down. And by the time you're done with the day, it's 8, 9 p.m. at night. Maybe you were still in this trade, having to hold it over Asia. It's impossible to like gather any form of consistency doing this. And I used to do this. I used to think that this was the way. I used to think that this is how people made money. And the hard reality is that it's literally not. Like, you are not a robot. You cannot sit here all day. You cannot think executing this over and over again, trying to chase PA the whole way down is going to make any sort of sense for you, mentally especially. And you've most likely spent, well, here in this instance, you've spent 4% of your account on the day. And now, how are you going to recover from this? And that's basically what I wanted to show you. I used to deal with the same thing over and over again. really never find any consistency. In this instance, I was using an example of you trading 1%, but let's say you were, trying to be a little bit more conservative and allocating, say, 0.3 or 0.5% risk to a trade. It's going to take you over 6 months to a year to even pass an account if you even get lucky. So, what is the point, right? And that's exactly what I am teaching in the alchemy. I'm teaching you how to reframe looking at really low, eliminating lower time frame analysis paralysis with consistent high time frame bias and lower time frame execution that actually makes sense. So if this is something for you and you are a serious trader that is serious about taking the next steps, check the link in my bio after this video. But that's all I have for you today. So yeah, I'll check you guys in the next one.